Even on an antidepressant, there are days I feel stuck in my head. Depression symptoms.
Good morning, Meow Meow. Good to see you too.
Thank you. And I must remind you, please do not feed Brett Bear. He'll just follow you home. Happy Thursday, everyone. So Hunter Biden called parts of Kamala Harris's new memoir, quote, personally painful. Publishers apparently forgot to tell Hunter, you're not supposed to put it up your butt. The Chicago teacher who mocked Charlie Kirk's assassination still remains employed. But school officials explain that firing her could cause her to collapse from a heart attack and crush dozens of children. Because she's morbidly obese. According to a new report, San Francisco streets are dirtier than last year, with even more feces and graffiti. But officials say there's an upside. It's creating more jobs for people who count feces. Win-win. A chocolate lining to every brow. An enraged Texas Democrat candidate, Yolanda Jones, vows to fight ugly against the Trump administration, which won't be a problem thanks to their secret weapon.
And Kathy Griffin is ugly.
James Carville said Trump collaborators should be publicly shamed and spit on. And immediately Don Lemon signed up to be a Trump collaborator. A Democratic Senate candidate in Maine has come under fire for a Nazi tattoo, but now he claims he covered it up with something slightly less offensive. There's a new TikTok trend that claims you can tell the size of a guy's package by how big his smile is.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
Here's my latest headshot. And finally, for the 5th year in a row, Taco Bell has the fastest drive-thru with an average wait of just 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And that's the total time it takes from ordering it to having diarrhea. All right, so it's been 6 weeks since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And have the Dems learned a thing? Hardly. Take Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, but only if you have a forklift. He's now comparing Trump's ICE raids to Nazi Germany.
We have to save this country from what Donald Trump is doing to it, because no, I do not want this country to become like other authoritarian regimes. People have criticized me for talking about the Nazi regime. People's rights started getting taken away. People got accused of being immigrants. This is before the Holocaust really took place. They create these kind of fake ideas that there's an enemy out there and it could be sitting next to you at one of these tables. And so let's round them up. Let's make sure that they are the subject of the laws that we're passing because we don't like who they are. That is what authoritarian regimes do.
Wow. You know, I used to think Pritzker was just a fat asshole. Now I realize he's a fat asshole with amnesia, clearly forgetting not just the law, but that branding people Nazis gets them killed. Yet enforcing immigration law is apparently how the Holocaust started. This lump of lard is as ignorant of history as he is of the food pyramid. But once again, ICE is only enforcing the law against lawbreakers. Unlike when Joe Biden was in charge, when the puppet masters removed their hands from Joe's ass long enough to sign warrants for parents, churchgoers, and a realtor with a flair for spray tans. So what does the rhetoric do? In New York City's Chinatown, ICE agents raided Canal Street Tuesday, arresting 9 illegals with rap sheets that include forgery, drug trafficking, robbery, and assault. These are bad hombres. Exactly the kind the cavalry of liberal white women seem to cherish most. Because, you know, the other guys are Nazis.
Show your face! Come on, what are you scared about? What the are you scared about? They're Nazis! They're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs, and they know what they're doing is wrong, and they don't give a because they're heartless monsters!
Well, she's got a mouth on her, and that's the only mouth she'll ever have on her. Well, until her cats eat her dead body in her lonely apartment. So there you go. Law enforcement rounds up serious criminals, and you have thirsty broads coming to their defense. Of course, they don't live there or run a business on that street. They don't even walk their dog on it like I do every day, past the block with the prostitutes, and then back around a few laps. And yet these women defend men who sell counterfeit goods, send the cash to organized crime groups who use it to traffic women.
Right.
You know, maybe it's me, but these lonely hearts should channel their passion elsewhere. Like write love letters to death row inmates. That way the inmates will drop their appeals and we can execute them faster. Last Saturday, I was on that very street watching these thugs surround 2 cops who were outmanned. They did nothing. So ICE hits the gang and netted 9 repeat offenders. Yet these white ladies raged over 9 measly arrests. Hell, they had twice that number after Don Lemon tweeted, "Meet me in the Central Park men's room." But it says something about a party who keeps choosing felons over citizens. And it's all because for them, there is no downside. They don't live there. And now House Dems are launching something called Master ICE Tracker, a government-funded system to monitor the government agency that enforces the law. It's designed to help fugitives evade capture, which makes them co-conspirators. And what will they do if they see something they don't like? Arrest ICE? Well, who's going to make that arrest? You and your wife's boyfriend? But if you can crowdsource tracking against ICE, why not do that to cops? Why not, if you can decide what laws matter and what don't? Maybe we should do that too. Crowdsource the locations of bat crazy white liberal women. I don't know why. And they may not be breaking any laws other than hygiene, but who's to say what a law is? So to recap, the Dems call ICE Nazis for deporting felons, choose criminals over citizens, and compare the rule of law to genocide. And they're doing this while polls show Americans of both parties supporting deporting criminal illegals. But it's no stretch to go from defund the police to defend the thugs. They now believe that illegals have an exemption to the laws that citizens don't, which only emboldens illegals to go after the cops. I saw it with my own eyes. Not only can you come here illegally and commit crime, you do it knowing that the laws won't apply. Democrats aren't trying to win you back. They want you to lose hope. That way, they think, the more likely you'll vote for them. She's taking a break from bitch-slapping Bill Hemmer, co-host of America's Newsroom and the Pod Data Burrito. His act was the inspiration for the barf bag, actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow.
Jamie Lissow.
On Halloween, she's
For watching.
There aren't any razors in her apples. New York Times bestselling author.
Yep. Hey, what? It's fine. It's fine.
And he makes his female
It's
fans
numbers,
sweat,
baby.
giving them a broken hip. Former NWA World Champion and host of the Planet Timer podcast. Dana, I hadn't listened to the whole thing that Pritzker said, but I loved it when he said, you know, people criticize
Numbers,
me when
baby.
I compare everything to the Holocaust. It's like, well, maybe you should stop doing it. They're not criticizing you because you're, like, rights. If everybody's criticizing you, it's because you're an asshole. Sorry.
And if
And if everywhere you look you see Nazis, and no one is a Nazi.
That is-
And
No
you
one
have
is a
Democrats
Nazi.
That are trying to follow in his footsteps, right? So there's this woman in California. She's running for state representative.
Oh,
and
we
she
lost the
tweeted
hate watcher
that
because you said
President
something.
Trump is Hitler because Hitler also built a ballroom.
They don't like to be talked about.
And that's the kind of logic that you get.
That's amazing. Who's a famous vegetarian? Like, is there a famous vegetarian?
Sting.
Sting is Hitler, because Hitler was a vegetarian.
Right. I see the logic.
Yeah, I see. What are you going to do for Christmas gifts, Dana, now that you can no longer buy goods for your staff?
You scared him
Yeah,
away,
it's gonna be
meow
really
meow.
tough for Kate. Yeah, she thought that was a Louis Vuitton.
You don't have a meow meow this morning. You have a roar roar.
City. I've never been to Canal Street.
A roar roar.
What I didn't know, this is actually all Michael Surio's point,
stupid.
if that's allowed.
Oh, man.
That a lot of those goods are made by slave labor.
Yes.
So just the ignorance of the young women who are there screaming on behalf of these illegal immigrants and the ones who have committed assault, robbery, things that they would typically be against if a white man had done it.
Right.
They don't even realize that what they're down there trying to protect is actually the circular firing squad of slave labor.
White liberal women don't think about that stuff.
No.
They just think about it's the most selfish, suicidal empathy. Look at me perform for you. I don't care that these third world women are being
Because they're out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. You know, Jamie, you spend a lot of time on Canal Street, or it's like you like to call it sea anal.
They like that one.
And Greg, if you go late enough, sometimes you do.
What do you make why do you think these women are so irrational when it comes to men who would probably slit their throat given a chance?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and I feel a little bit guilty. I'm actually wearing my Louis Vietnams.
That's great.
There's so many weird things about this story. A lot of those shop owners who were complaining about the people out front selling all the items with them, they say they're like stopping people from getting into their establishments. A lot of those shop owners are illegal immigrants. They're taking the side of the illegal immigrant, even though a lot of those guys are hard-working legal immigrants that are having trouble getting customers into their stores because there's crazy people out front.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like this is a pretty intelligently target. Like, these people are doing something. It's not. Sure, it's just selling counterfeit goods, but if you're willing to do one illegal thing, maybe you're willing to do something else illegal, and 6 of the 9 had rap sheets, and so it wasn't the worst. And you know, I'm a little bit biased because my ex-wife was a huge protester. It was mostly during sex, but it was
Mostly during sex. So funny.
I think that